you came here, you launched yourself into things. Like you were just doing stuff, like doing stuff, doing stuff. Was that dash trying to find something to hold on to because you were dealing with all the trauma and stuff and you're just looking for places to go and burn your energy and probably just lose yourself in it?
Like I said, remember I told you that when I sit by myself, that all that go through my head would be what I went through. Whenever even when I get home at night, anytime I'm alone by myself, that's all will go through my head. I'm missing my mom. I'm missing my grandma. I'm thinking about the struggle, the stuff that happened.
Welcome to the Newcomers podcast, everyone, where I explore what it means to be an immigrant with immigrants like myself and folks who work in the immigration sector. This episode is a special one and is brought to you in collaboration with ISSofBC, who's like one of the biggest, one of the oldest immigrant serving organizations in British Columbia, Vancouver, and they've been helping folks, settle, learn English, study, and find work in British Columbia. Today I have with me Dacious Richardson, who's a who's I mean, is a pretty interesting fella. He's done a lot of interesting things. But the thing is, Dacious came to Canada as a kid, as a refugee kid, and while like there's a great story in there, but I think for me is what I really want to explore here is with him is he didn't make a choice to come here. Like that wasn't his choice at all. Like things beyond his control decided that Dash was gonna move to Canada. But then every single choice he's made since he moved here has been his. And we're gonna explore that. Welcome to the episode, Dashes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dozie. Appreciate for you having me on your show, and thanks to ISSofBC for inviting me in this kind of conversation.
Awesome, awesome. I think I want to kind of kick off with basically is you've been here for a bit.
Yeah, quite a long
Uh,
time.
and when do you feel most like yourself here and when least do you feel most like yourself?
Wow, that's a very powerful and interesting question. Yes, like you said, I came here at a very young age. Um, every day, I still feel like it was yesterday. Yeah, I still feel it was yesterday. Because throughout the years I've been here, there's so many things that have happened. I've faced so many obstacles, but I've kept on moving forward. And when I say moving forward, I keep striving
Mm.
for the greater. I've never allowed the negative to hold me down. If I share some of the things, the struggle that I feel, the obstacle that have come my way, we wouldn't be yet today because it's gonna be a long story. But
I
every
want to hear
time
some of them
those
though.
I will. I will. Thank you. Yeah. Every time those happen, it's always giving me an opportunity to take another step forward. And each time I take a step forward, things happen. But uh, I've never felt like I'm left out. Of course, when I first came here, that was a struggle that many of our immigrants face.
Mm.
But I've kind of found myself in a way where I have to adapt to the society, but bringing in the flavor of my identity, who I am, who really truly I am. I'm an African man from Liberia, you know, a refugee who wants to see the better in other people, not just myself. So a provider, someone who cares for the community. And that's the aim, and that's my focus. And that's what I've been doing since as a young child, since I came here. And ever since I've been on that goal. So I have a heart that I always want to see the good in people, and I want to give that. And sometimes I often forget about who I really am too, because I tend to focus more on the community than myself. And but that's I think that my calling in this life is to give, to care, and I don't think that's a mistake. Yeah, so I'm grateful to God for that. Yeah, truly.
There's something you say that's really interesting, which is you forget who you really are. Like, I want us to stay on that a bit because I feel like
Yeah.
there are two layers. There are two layers to that. There's who you really are, which is the what you show to the world, and there's who you really are, which is the underneath you that drives all of this.
Drafts.
And if we had
Yeah.
to separate that, like, how would you describe those two?
Uh, what's the word? I'm resilient. Yes, I'm very resilient. I'm very passionate. I'm driven, but also I'm a sharp person. I'm a sharp person. Yeah, I uh, I deal with so much that goes beyond this smile, but I still try to bring light, into what I do. Yeah, so there's a lot behind this smile too.
I like that you say that actually, because
Yeah,
like I said to you the pre-show, your story is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, like I feel like
thank you.
you have a piece. There's a piece by UNHCR on you, right? I think I found that.
Absolutely.
And
Hmm.
I love the arc. The arc is amazing. It's like war childhood comes here, finds soccer, finds belonging. Soccer helps you heal, and you find your belonging, and you're kind of giving back to society. And
Absolutely.
that's a beautiful arc. What I really want to know is what are all the choices in between there that story kind of strips out.
Hmm.
The
So
hard
let
part,
me.
the hard part, the part that is usually unsaid, and
So,
the part that is
yeah,
messy and hard and
absolutely.
just
Okay, let me start back from where I came from. I came from Liberia, of course, born in civil war. At a young age, experiencing what war is. I don't wish that on any youth, any kids. I don't wish anyone experience that ever. But that's something that I grew up in, and that's where I grew up. Uh, Running away from bullets, trying to find a refuge, being displaced in my own country, witnessing violence, seeing death. Just you can name them all. So at a very young, of course, somebody got killed in front of me. Of course, that then caused trauma. I was very young when that happened. So when I came here, I came along with my two older sisters, and for the first time ever again, I met my father. So my father was here. My father came from Colombia as a refugee as well, but he left the country when I was, a baby. He left Liberia when I was a baby, so he went to other countries, then came to Kenya as a refugee. So then we also, me and my sister, we moved here in 2011, and that was the first time we reconnected with our father. I didn't know who he was. That was the first time I met him. Within that time too, it was a difficult time getting to know my father, but I was also dealing with all of the trauma that I went throughout the war. And not only that, I left my grandma who raised me. I left my mom who raised me. So up to now, I haven't seen my mom. And imagine, yeah, it's been 16 years. So imagine leaving everything behind, and all the people your community, people that care for you. So you come into a country that is, new to you, a new environment, new language, of course. But with all that, I still was able to get involved. And when I say involved in school, I was part of the wrestling team, soccer, and I did track and field. I was part of the leadership team in school. I was always helping out, here and there, doing the little things. Always involved in the community, being part of the refugee youth team in Man City. Then go on and do all the amazing work within the same community, p- all part of Canada, then UN. So it's been a journey, but in all those pain and suffering, I've always found passion and love for the other things that I care about, which was sports, which were also the community, which was people, and sports helped me to heal. Wrestling helped me heal. Soccer helped me heal. So I remember whenever I I was in like in the wrestling room when we're training. All that trauma, all that pain, all that frustration, everything goes away. But when I leave that place and when I go home where I'm in my bubbles, I'm in my own space, it's like everything just come back at you. And it's hard to deal with, it's hard to talk about. So those are the struggle I faced for many years. And through that time, I never really talk about the thing that I went through. Even my father didn't know about it. So there was a time where I had an interview to do at with the Vancouver Sun. So I did that. Then I had another interview in that same day with the provincial's BC, yeah, BC provincial newspaper, or the province newspaper, you say. So one thing the interviewer asked me, the first thing was, Dash, can you please locate Liberia on the map? And I was able to because I know my geography. So I said, this is Liberia. And then he looked at me for a long time. He said, can I ask you a question, a personal question? And I said, yes. So he says, from the time you're in Liberia, you're born, to now, it seemed like you know the Liberian history. So he said, to now, it seemed like you were in the war, in the civil war. You experienced the civil war. And that's all he said. I just started crying. And he wanted to cut that interview. He said, why are you crying? Because he didn't know my story. But I would tell you before that interview, I have a teacher, or I had a teacher who, in my English class, so we used to read, our novels and stuff like that, our fiction books. And one of the books that I really got my attention, I really love, is called A Long Way Gone. A Long Way Gone by Ishmael Bell. So Ishmael Bell was a child soldier from Sierra Leone. And I was very much interested in that book because every time I read that book, I see part of me in Ishmael, but I also see some of the things that happen in the war from that book. As a young child, Ishmael experienced the war. He was forced to become a child soldier, and through that, he even ended up killing innocent people. Where sometimes they would give the gunpowder to the young kids to take as drugs, and then whatever they do, they forget. They don't even know who they are. So when all of the things that was talked about in that book, when those moments happen, I was like, oh, I know somebody who this happened to. Oh, I've seen this happen. Oh, I know this happened to this village. Oh, I know this happened here and there. This happened to me. So I relate to that book so much that I was reading it down, and my teacher, she would go in my journal and read the journal and say, Dash, would you ever want to talk about this? I wasn't able to open up. But that's my way of expression. But it was good that she would always call me to the side. We would talk, we would chat about it. I just don't open up to talk much. She would just ask me those questions. I said, yeah, this happened. I know this happened. But I never say about me, right? And during that interview, I thought about my teacher. She said, Dash, maybe it's about time for you to share your story with the world, to let this out, whatever that you're going to let it out. And I remember, so before I actually say what I want to say, is again, I used to have this one dream, particular dream, even when I was in Liberia, where in the dream it's like this: civil war breaks out, everybody's running for refuge, so we all running towards our house, and in the back door, everybody's going in that door. I'm going in the same direction. I got in front of the door. I'm about to enter that house so we can close the door. I can see the rebel approaching us, but I fell to my knee. I want to get in, but I cannot get in. I'm struggling to get in. And the moment I dropped my knee, I'm crawling to get in the house. Someone pick up the gun, point at me, boom, and then I wake up from bed. And I wake up from bed, I'm sweating, I'm crying. So imagine that went on for years. The one dream over and over. That's why I can remember that dream, because it happened to me almost every week or every day. For years, I came to Canada, I still had the same dream. But until I was able to, during that interview now, when I was able to talk about the stuff that I went through, and I remember I stopped having that dream, that particular dream. I stopped having it. It's almost felt like something left my body. It was like a relief. Something came out of this body. The pain, the struggle, and everything that was on me like a burden. It all came out. And even friends in the school, the teachers, they were shocked because Dacious is a guy who's always smiling, who's always helping people in the school, trying to make people feel happy around him. But they never thought, oh, this is why I went to. And when that story came out, I remember I was on the bus, I saw the newspaper, and this lady's like, "Oh, that's you." I said, "Yes, that's me." No, it was just casual, yeah. I said, "Yeah, that's me." And I remember there's another lady in Toronto that reached out to me, um, yeah, on Facebook, and she said, "Dash, thank you for sharing your story because my husband, he's also from Liberia. He talked about these things, but I've always encouraged him to talk, but it's not easy to talk about because many Liberians went through that. It's not easy to talk about. But the fact that you share your story, my husband and I, we saw it. He said he's willing to let the world know his story also. So when she reached out, I felt so honored, and I was so happy to that I taught somebody across the country with my story, and ever since I will tell you, this has been opportunity that came my way, but has also been a lot of struggles that came my way that I've dealt with and I keep dealing with. But I keep aiming for the better because I've always, let myself know that anything that I do, I don't do it out of my own will. It's always the will of God, and I always pray, for the best because my life is in the hands of God, and whatever I give is good. Yeah, it's in a good way.
First of all, gosh, man. I mean, first of all, I love that you're able to tell the story, you know,
Yeah,
and I love that you found that peace because, like, I just can just imagine that trauma,
yeah.
you know. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I'm all
I
emotional
know,
right now.
of course.
Whew, 13. You know, you've told this story for years. What does telling it really cost you? Is it something you like after this interview? Are you I because I don't hope I don't want to be one of the people who puts you through to
Hmm.
relieve this thing and kind of deal with it again emotionally.
No, no, no. I would say it cost me. I won't say it in a bad way, negatively, as it affect me telling the story. It has it has allowed me to touch people because I'm not the only person that went through this, and maybe my story is not even the worst. No, absolutely not. There has been youth that I work with in my program, even people within the country that even went through the worst and worst. But me telling the story, every time I share this, somebody can relate to this, right? And somebody can be able to connect, to build that connection. But I'm able to use this story to tell people that, hey, look at me. Yeah, I may have gone through all of these difficult moments, all of the struggles, but I never allow the negative to affect me. I never allow the negative to take over my life. With that, I use the negativity and channel that into doing positive things. And now this positive thing is bringing light to the world, to my community, to youth. Especially when I say youth, as my work is more focused based on youth. Why? Because I lost that youthfulness, right? I never really lived it to where I supposed to live it because part of that was taken away. Yes. However, there are many of our young people, our youths, who are now faced with drugs, violence, gang exposure, and you name them. So my focus mainly is the youth. I want to be there as a person who they can see as a mentor, as a leader who can direct them in the right way, in the right path. Yes, I may not be able to save everybody, but at least if there's one person I can touch, one person who I can help change or transform, and that's good because I myself, I had when I came here, I had great mentors. I wouldn't lie to you, but I always tell myself what I wanted to do, what I'm gonna do, and I've always been eager. I've always been driven. I've always been hungry for success, and I never allow myself to fall apart. But many youth, sometimes we just need that person who can check on us often, and I had that person in my life, so that allowed me to stay in the right direction as well. Trust me, there are many times I've been approached, right, to do things that I know it was bad, and I'm grateful that I never make those choices because I always thought, they were not something that was meant for me. So, but not many people have this mindset as me, right? So, this is something I learned from small growing up in my family. So, for the youth, I want to be there to say, you know what, let me guide you, let me help you in this direction that you want to go. But of course, you cannot do everything for them. And if that's one
Yeah.
person I can touch, that's good. But we have to show up. We can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to help," but then we don't show the action. So my way of doing things is showing action and doing the thing that's necessary. Yes, at times it's very, 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 very difficult because it also takes a lot from me too. It takes away my time, my family time, and I'm giving. Yes, I may not receive the thing I expect, but in my giving, I think what brings me happiness, if you ask me, is me doing things for others and seeing people smile. That's what brings me joy.
Yeah. You know, so I have this. When I was reading your profile, I
Yeah,
kept thinking about, like, it just feels like when you came here, you launched yourself into things. Like you were just doing stuff, like doing stuff, doing stuff.
yeah,
And you've continued with that energy. And so, but I'm just curious that at that point when you started doing that thing, was that Dash trying to find something to hold on to because you were dealing with all the trauma and stuff, and you're just looking for places to go and burn your energy and probably just lose yourself in it, you know?
yes, yes, yes. I would say yes because I, like I said, remember I told you that when I sit by myself, that all that go through my head would be what I went through. Whenever even when I get home at night, when I'm at anytime alone by myself, that's all will go through my head. I'm missing my mom. I'm missing my grandmom. I'm thinking about the struggle, the stuff that happened to my friends, siblings, and that. So all of those things were going through my head, and like I said, sports helped me. It play a huge part. So always, like you said, burning my energy. So like I said, I was playing soccer. I was doing wrestling. I was doing my studies. I would just, and then that's the same thing that's happening now where people like that. You still gotta make, it lived on for years, and yeah, I'm still doing the same thing. Sometimes I have meeting at 3 a.m. Why am I doing this? I ask myself this question. I get up and ask myself this, well, why am I doing this? Why is the end goal? Why? Yes, and that's why I still can't answer that why. I just always say I just feel joyful when I do these things. Yeah, sometimes it's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah, of course, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
of course. I mean, like, these are hard choices that you're making. But
yeah,
I think what I love about what you're saying is how you're following your joy. Because I see this in a lot where people say is it's easier said than done. But
yes,
just follow your joy, because, like, more often than not, the world kind of bends its
it
arc
does.
towards you. You
It
know.
does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah. Some of the things that I do, people wouldn't imagine behind the scene work. Yeah, because behind the scene I work tirelessly, and for sometimes I do some events and here and there, but the work that I put in, it's hard to see. And but I'm not the only person that takes the credit. I give
Yeah.
credits to the people that I work with too, and the youths that are in my program, that the leaders who help me, because now, yeah, and as a young child who helped me, as a young child, I had mentors who helped me to grow, and now I'm transforming that to the next. So now, sometimes when I see the youth doing these things, I sit back and just stare at them and just look and say, "Wow, that's literally me right there." And I allow them to take step and make their own choices. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Is there? I mean, in all these things you've been doing, is there like any one of them like this you go like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore? Has there been anyone that you've kind of stopped, and why did you stop it?
Ooh, I said no, no. Wow, everything I did from small, when I came here, I still kind of do it. Like, okay, for example, wrestling. Yes, I don't compete anymore due to injury, but I'm still involved with wrestling. I'm a referee. I'm a coach. You know, yeah. So I'm still highly involved in wrestling, soccer. I still play here and there. Now I'm injured as well, so I still participate. Yeah, I got hurt like few weeks, almost a month now, and so previously I had a very bad knee injury. I tore my ACL, MCL, PCL, nerve damage, and that happens to end my wrestling career. However, I've been playing soccer since I came back. I recovered everything, and then most recent I kind of like not twist, kind of twisted, yeah, the knee, same knee, but later doctor says nothing right now, so it's good, but it was really bad, and I think I have to do an injection in the next month. Yeah,
Oh crap! Yeah, I mean,
so
I
just
play
for
soccer too.
yeah, I love the game. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. Me too. I
that's
play soccer
that's that's my first sport. Yeah, if you ask me, what's
I
your
feel
team now? You cheering for the World Cup?
for the World Cup. I'm cheering
Yeah.
Canada and England.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm cheering Canada and England. I'm because I'm originally from Nigeria. Nigeria is not coming to the
Yes.
World Cup.
Yeah, Commonwealth.
So England is like my second team, like my
Second,
second
that's true.
favorite team, and then Canada because I live in Canada and I'm a Canadian. I'm a
Of
Canadian. I mean
course.
Nigerian Canadian. So
Yeah, makes sense.
yeah, I play soccer. I got injured last December 2024. So I played the league here, the semi-pro league in Calgary here, the
I
Cruiser
agree.
League. But I got injured
Okay.
in an indoor game. I tore my patella. I fractured my patella. So like I had to do
Ooh.
surgery,
Oh, I'm
go
sorry
under
to
the
hear.
knife, stay off soccer. I started playing this year again, but I've not started
Yeah,
playing pro again. I'm still
of course. It takes
still
time.
takes time. I'm still trying to get back to it.
Yeah.
Now, like the World Cup is in Canada right now, like,
Yeah,
and you're a soccer person, and then I mean,
of
I found
course.
out Alfonso Davies. So what you do with that? Like, they're playing in Vancouver really soon, right? Like, are you
Yes,
going to the
yeah, yeah,
game?
yeah.
Are you going to do this?
Yeah, I unfortunately I don't have a ticket. I didn't buy a ticket. I know. But my organization, we were fortunate to uh, have one of our youth leader who will be representing us at the World Cup. I believe it'll be in July. She'll be one of the flag bearer. So they reach out to us and they asked us to give one of our leader, and this young girl, she's been amazing for us over the years, so she deserves this experience. So yeah, she'll be going on our behalf. So I believe when she's there, I'm there. So yeah, that's good for us, all of us.
Yeah,
So
oh yeah.
yeah.
You know,
However, I'll be watching. I'll be downtown to celebrate. Yeah,
awesome, awesome.
of
I,
course.
I did, I did have a. I mean, the Newcomer just published an article about how the World Cup helps with belonging. It was
Yes.
published by someone, my colleague in social, Maria Odarenko. And I was just wondering, I want to just ask you if you agree with that theme in the sense that the World Cup is really one way in which, if you're a newcomer to Canada, it's one way to just kind of find yourself, integrate yourself into the society because it's like a door, like 'cause everyone is laughing and happy and they're
Happy.
more,
Yeah.
they're open minded and all that stuff.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I agree with that because, well, if you see soccer, as a sport, is a sport that everybody Everybody, not everybody, but most nation plays, right? It's a sport that you don't need a particular object like the soccer ball. You don't need a soccer ball to play. You and myself, when I grew up in Liberia, sometimes we don't have the ball. We use plastic bag that we wrap, gloves, and we kick. We play with bare feet, and that's the way it brings community together. It brings
Yeah.
nations. It brings peace in a nation, and I've seen that. Ivory
Yep.
Coast, Liberia, you name it, too, because of a sport person. Um, in Canada, it's the same thing. As an immigrant, uh, we were celebrating this beautiful game. So it's soccer is more than a game. It's more than a game. It's a community. It's beyond just the sports. It's a community. Like I said, it's joyful. It's togetherness. It's entertaining. So you get to meet people from all over the globe. And the good thing is that for many immigrants, you look in most of the teams that are playing or nations, you see a lot of immigrants. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And not only that, the best players in those countries are
So
immigrants.
true.
Yes. Which if you look at Spain, right? You look at Spain, you look at France, yeah, England. So and that's the joy of the game. So
Yeah.
people from all walks of life love the game. Yeah, I remember when I was in Europe and I saw how the passion is for the game. Oh, I'm like, oh, this reminds me of back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
You
one thing
know what?
I
Hmm.
sorry, one thing I like about soccer, it has this unique thing.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's any other sport. I think other sports have it, but I don't know if they have it the way soccer does, where it's like a religion. It's the one religion that is worshipped across the world.
you're the
It is
war.
that
Yeah,
one religion that is worshipped because a lot of other sports like basketball and all the
yeah,
rest are not exactly worshipped across countries the way they are worshipped in some countries. But
yeah.
soccer is
That's
that
true.
one sport that anywhere you go in the world and you bounce a ball,
Yeah,
people just come
people will
out
come out. Yeah,
and they understand it.
yeah, yeah. I may go to a country where I don't know the language, but as long as we have a ball, we're gonna play and we're gonna have
Yeah.
understanding of the game. Yeah, and I've seen that. I was in a team that the coach speaks French. I don't speak French, but every time he giving instructions is all in French. I just listen like this, and of course we go on, we play. He's communicating in French, but we there playing because we can understand the game from just the body language and all of that.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing about the game, and I really love the game. Yeah,
Hmm.
I really love the game.
We're rounded up here and we'll soon go to the book of questions. But I want to ask you a couple of questions before I get to that, which is what are you afraid that people here will never understand about you?
Whew. Why am I afraid people will never understand about me? Okay, yeah, wow, that's a good question because which is one of my friend that I graduated from school with a couple years down the line, she actually said, Dash, she's like, if somebody don't get to know who you really are, just by looking at you, they'll feel intimidated. One, they would think you're a player. Yes, then they would think that they will be afraid of you because of your look. But when they get to know you, you're a person with like soft heart who cares so much. So I had to think about that, and I'm like, wow, I never thought about that. Yes, from my body structure, I look like a very very tough guy. That's true. Maybe sometimes people may see that they may not want to talk to me because they may be afraid of me or something like that. But if you really truly get to know who Dash is, I go above and beyond. If you really, some of my friends will attest to this. I go above and beyond when you get to know me. I'm easy to talk to. I'm a person who show care. Even if I don't know who you are, I will be there for you.
Hmm?
Yeah, yeah. That's something. I'm afraid that people will feel intimidated and try to judge me just from my look. Yeah, or from my story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Do you ever? I don't know if this is a question, but this is more like a thought I'm noodling in my head, which is:
Yeah.
do you ever wish that when you think about this thing now, it's almost a thing I always think about with life, about how would you have wanted it any other way, considering all the beauty you've done with what you went through?
I'll say, of course, everybody would love their life to be simple and sweet and joyful and happy. But I'm grateful for every stage of my life. Those things that happened to me, yeah, of course, I wish it never happened. Those things I've seen, I wish I never seen them. However, where I am today, maybe I wouldn't be where I am today if I never passed through those stages, if I never experienced those things, because those things shape me. It shape who I am. It shaped my mindset, my thinking, being resilient, um, and being able to like literally get be able to know how to deal with obstacles, how to deal with struggle. Because I'm a stubborn person when it comes to making decision that I don't want to do. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, Dad, just try this, do this," and when I say no, my no is no. For example, most of my friends can tell you this. I don't drink, nor do I smoke. So sometimes when we go out, oh, somebody was like, "Dash, can I get you a drink?" To the extent where even my friends would be saying, my friend would be the one saying, "Oh no, don't get him drink. He doesn't drink," because you can't. You will try to convince me over and over. And when I say no, my no is no. I stick to it. But that's a personal choice that I make, right? It's not something that I bash people that do it. No, it's just a personal choice that I made for myself, and I don't do that. So now, in terms of the other kind of decision that is difficult to make, where for example, like maybe business people who trying to recruit kids to gangs and all this violence, crime, and stuff. So if I was a kid, you trying to do that, my no would be no. There's nothing I'm gonna be influenced by. I'm not influenced by the things of the world, right? Yes, I may admire things. Sometimes I admire shoes, but I'm not eager to go beyond and say, "Oh, I'm gonna get this," and then all of these things. No. So I'm able to feel content in my bubbles. I'm able to be okay with where I am, but it doesn't mean that I'm just sitting down. I'm also striving for the best. Yeah, yeah. I think I'll say that about me.
I mean, I do think I agree you're stubborn, because I think that only a stubborn person would stick with all the things you've been doing all
Yeah,
this
I do.
while
Yeah.
and just hold on to them like, I'm gonna get them done.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah. So sometimes when you see my computer windows, it's like so many stuff open. I'm just working on one. It's like, Dash, do you ever get a break? I'm like, I'll get a break when I get a break. Yeah. And then sometimes that never happens because I'm always doing things.
If you
That's
get
tough.
all you want, what do you think that will help? What would that prove to you?
If I get all I want,
Yeah, what would that prove to you? Because you're chasing a ton of things, a ton of beautiful things, and if you can pull all of them off, what would that prove to you?
I'm not trying to prove anything. I'll tell you this, but
Awesome.
what I really what I really would love to happen is that I would love to have like a center for my organization where even if I'm not the one running it, I want a space where youth can feel free to come for like tutoring, educational stuff, can come for sports after school, stuff like that, where they can just come and play. Um, and I also want a way where kids from students from in Canada that will be able to leave from here and go in some African countries or part of the world to do exchange, and whereas vice versa, kids coming from there coming here and experience what it is like as well. Because I always tell my students, I also work in high schools, So I
Yeah.
tell my students that I wish they can literally travel to our country and see what is this like, how some of the kids their age are living, so they can compare their life with them over here, because a lot of these kids, yeah, they feel privileged, so they don't see how is it like to go to school. In some countries, going to school, if you don't have money to pay for tuition, you cannot go to school. In Canada, yes, in high school we have free education. So in other countries, 5, 6, 7 years old kid will be on the street selling. So I really want to have kids experience that. But overall, I just want the world to be a better place where youth can find peace and enjoy in what they do. Yeah. And when I get old one day, I can sit back and say, yeah, I remember that kid. That kid is, doing something that I once was doing too. And I
Mm.
just, yeah, be happy because they succeed in life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So now, the book of questions.
Yeah.
So you
Ooh,
got to pick
okay.
one number between 1 and 291.
1 to 91. Okay. My favorite number is 5. So I will go with 55.
Oh, okay. Um, oh, this is an interesting question. While on a trip, your spouse or lover spends a night with a stranger. If you knew they'd never meet again and you wouldn't otherwise find about it, would you want your partner to tell you? If roles were reversed, would you confess what you had done?
Oh no! Why did I pick that? Oh no!
The
That
book
is
is the
tough.
best thing ever.
I love this book. I think I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna
Yeah, I
get
can
one.
send you. I can send you. I can.
Eh,
If you send me your address, I can send you. I can send you a copy, Dash.
okay, I'll do
Yeah.
that. Yes, I want this. This is a good game for friends. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Whew. So if my partner meets somebody on a
On
trip,
a road trip, yeah, and she
on a
spends the
road trip,
night
a
with a
stranger
stranger.
spend the night. Yeah.
And let me go back to the question again and just kind of reread this. So, yeah, she spends the night with a stranger. If you knew that they would never meet again, and you wouldn't otherwise find out about it, would you want your partner to tell you? If the roles were reversed, would you confess to what you had done?
Ah, yeah. Okay. Let me speak on the partner, then I'll come to me. Yeah. Oh, in a selfish way, yeah, I want her to tell me what happened, but I also prefer that I don't know what happened. Yes, so that because if I find out what happened, that's a done deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I rather don't know. I'd rather don't tell me. It's
Rather don't
happened. It's
tell me,
gone.
right?
Yeah,
Let's just
yeah.
all keep
Don't tell me. Yeah, let's just live our life. Yeah. And now on my side, if
Would you
I'm if I
confess?
if
If it was
yeah,
you,
yeah.
would you confess?
At some point I think that will come out, but I can hold secret. I can take it. I plead the fifth. That's funny.
Oh God. Oh yeah, like
Uh,
it's such a great
I
book.
love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah. That's
Thank you
great.
so much,
Yeah,
Dash.
yeah. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for coming on the podcast to share your story. I think you're an amazing soul, and I really, 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 really hope that you get all you want to achieve. Because man,
I
you're
appreciate
doing a
it.
lot of amazing things, and I really, really
Thank
appreciate you.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.